All right, so looking at number 15, guys, and I told you I was going to ask you this question a lot. What rules do y'all see on number 15? I see quotient rule and power rule, okay? So just like order of operations, you still have to follow that when you're reducing or simplifying these. So quotient is division, power rule is exponent. Which one of those comes first in order of operations? Exponents, okay, or power rule. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm simply just going to reduce this with my power rule. Now, I'm going to draw my quotient bar here. And then up top, I'm simply just going to put what I already have, 12W to the 9th and V to the 4th. Okay, now you can adjust that or move it if you need to. Now below it, we're going to put in what we simplify for my power rule. Okay, so here, remember power rule says we have to raise our coefficient to that power. So what is 4 squared going to be? 16. So we have 16. W is going to be to the 2nd. And V is going to be to the 2nd. Don't forget, guys, I'm going to draw this in real quick. But remember, each of those variables is understood to be to the power of 1. Okay? Now, here we did our power rule. What rule do we have left right here? Quotient rule. Okay? All right, so here, we're just going to simplify using the quotient rule. So remember, we're either going to divide our coefficients or reduce the fraction. Okay, so what is 12 over 16 going to be reduced to? 3 over 4. So 3/4. That's going to be W raised to the power of 7. Remember quotient rules, subtract your exponents. And V to the 2nd. Or V squared. Now that's pretty simple, right? That's not very difficult. Not a whole lot going on right there. Okay? Now, look at 16. We're not going to work 16, but I want to talk to you about it just a second, guys. What two rules do y'all see there? Power and quotient. Okay? So when you see here, guys, you will have a power rule that you will have to reduce up top. And then you will also have a power rule that you will have to reduce or simplify on the bottom. Okay? But then after you reduce those, you'll still have to do your quotient rule, divide your coefficients or reduce them in fraction form, and then subtract your exponents. That's pretty simple. Agreed? Now, we are going to look at 17. Okay, there are two rules that y'all see here. What two rules do y'all see? Power and quotient. Okay? What you guys need to understand, guys, is that everything inside this parentheses is being raised to the power of what? 3. That's like having all of this up top in parentheses with a 3 above it, and everything at the bottom around parentheses with a 3 above it. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do, okay, is just reduce both of those, the top and the bottom, with the power rule. Okay? All right, so up top, 2 raised to the power of 3 is going to be what? 8. Okay? Then we have m is going to be raised to the power of 12. Don't forget, power rule, multiply our exponents. And then n is going to be raised to the power of 6. We good there? Again, if you guys need to move or adjust that, we can. All right, down on the bottom, 4 raised to the power of 3 is going to be 64. M to the 6th and n to the 3rd. All right, we good there so far? All right, so not a whole lot going on differently than what we already know. Okay, now I'm simply just going to come and I'm going to reduce this using my quotient rule. Okay, so 8 over 64 is going to reduce to what? So what? 1/8. Okay, so we have 1/8 m to the 6th and n to the 3rd. Everybody good there? Now, 21, looking at this, guys, I already put a couple notes on here that you guys can see, and we talked about it in some of my other classes. You guys know, understood. What is understood to be with that P and the Q? A 1. Okay? All right, so looking here, I see 2 rules. What 2 rules do y'all see? quotient, and product rule. Okay, remember it's the multiplication right there. Okay, so simply, first thing we're going to do, order of operations. We're just going to start at the top and work our way back from there. Okay, so product rule tells me to multiply my coefficients. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. All right, now product rule, what do we do with our exponents? Add. Okay, so we've got P is going to be to the third and Q to the fifth. All right, everybody good there? All right, now this is another part where I was talking about, guys, I want you to replace everything that we haven't used or done or simplified. So you're just simply going to come below that and put our -6, P, and Q to the fifth. Okay? All right, so from here, we're just going to reduce or simplify using the quotient rule. Okay? So 6 divided by -6 is going to be what? -1. Now, you guys need to know, understood, that that's simply just a negative in front of everything. Okay? Because you guys know when you multiply, anytime you multiply by 1, what happens to that value? Say it. It stays the same. Okay? So we're just going to have that negative in front. Now, P squared divided by P is going to give us what? That should not be P squared. That should be P to the what? P to the third. Y'all make sure y'all make those corrections. So it should be P what? P squared. And then Q to the fifth divided by Q to the fifth is nothing. It is Q to the 0, which, remember, we talked about it yesterday. Anything to the 0 power is what? 1. Okay? All right, so that was pretty simple too. Okay? Now, we're not going to look at 23 or 22. We are going to go right to 23. Okay, and I want you to pause and just look at 23 real quick. Okay? Now, we're just adding another step into this. What rules do y'all see here on 23? Power rule, quotient, and product rule. Okay? So there's a lot going on here. Okay? All right, so the first thing, we're going to simplify the top with the power rule. Okay? All right, now, make sure, guys, until you multiply using the product rule, that you still continue to keep your parentheses. Okay? So here, let's go ahead and simplify or reduce the first expression, guys. You got 2x to the third raised to the power of 2. That's going to be what? It's going to be 2 squared is going to be what? 4. And then we're going to have x raised to the power of 6. Okay? Don't forget, remember, you still got to raise that coefficient, okay, by that power. Okay? So then we still have more parentheses, guys, because we've still got the product rule in play. So then 3 raised to the power of 3 is going to be what? 27. And that's going to be y to the 12. Okay? All right, so here, remember, don't forget, don't do 3 times 3 because it's 3 times itself that many times, okay? And that, guys, and I'm just being real with you, that is probably the mistake that we make the most often. We look at it and sometimes just go 3 to 3, just out of habit, and get 9. But make sure, okay, that we use that it's raised to that power. Okay? All right. Now here again, guys, what I'm talking about, we're just going to fill in the bottom. What we haven't used is 12, x to the 4th, y to the 5th. Y'all good there? All right. Now, looking right here with this expression, okay? What 2 rules do we have left right here with this expression? Quotient and product, okay? All right, so here we're just going to put in, we're going to simplify the top with the product rule, okay? So 4 times 27 is going to be what? 108. That's going to be x to the, is there anything to multiply it by? Nope, so it stays the same, x to the 6th, and y to the 12th. Okay? All right, and then fill in the bottom with what we have not used still. 12x to the 4th and y to the 5th. All right, here, quotient rule, 108 divided by 12. It's going to be what? 9. X to the what? X squared. And y to the 7. Okay. All right. So we've been talking about, guys, we've been adding all these rules together into one expression. Okay. So looking at 27 here, guys, I want you to think about it for just a minute. There's a lot going on here. Okay. There's a lot. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. Don't get confused. Okay. What rules do y'all have going on here with 27? All of them that we've talked about. We've got 2 power rules. We've got a product rule still up top. We've got the quotient. And then we've got the subtraction sign for combining like terms. Okay? So again, we're still going to follow order of operations. We'll work out our exponents. Then we'll do our multiplication and division. And then our combining our like terms. Okay? So up at the top, let's simply simplify using the power rule. Okay? So we still got to keep parentheses until we multiply those together using the product rule. So 2 to the power of 3 is going to be what?
6.
Nope. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. And I know we're going to make those mistakes, but we will fix them. And m is going to be raised to the power of 6. Okay? All right, close that parentheses. Open it up for the next one. 3 raised to the power of 3 is 27. And n to the 12th. Everybody good there so far? All right, now, still, we're filling in everything we have not used. So that's going to be 9m to the 4th, n to the 7th. And all of this still is going to equal 18m squared n to the 5th. Oh, I'm sorry. You were correct. I don't know why I did that. Thank you. All right. All right. Now, looking here, let's reduce using my product rule. Okay, so we've got 8 times 27 is going to be what? What? 216. M to the what? 6th and n to the 12th. Okay. All still over 9m to the 4th, n to the 7th, and we subtract 18m squared n to the 5th. Okay? All right. Now, we've still got quotient rule left and combining like terms if they're exactly alike. Okay? All right, so let's reduce, simplify using the quotient rule. I'm just coming right down here below out of the box. We got 216 divided by 9 is? What? So 216 divided by 9 is 24. M is going to be raised to the power of 2 and n to the power of 5. Okay? And we still have minus 18 m squared n to the 5th. All right, now looking at those combining like terms, are they exactly alike? Yes. Okay. All right, so 24 minus 18 is 6. And then what happens with my variables and my exponents? They stay exactly the same. Good. Okay. All right. All right. Y'all will make sure that y'all finish all the rest of them.